Larry truly understands the meaning of hospitality, and he was even asked to be a guest lecturer and specialist for Southwest Airlines, which received an award for how they treated their guests. He says, don't call them customers, call them guests. Okay, Larry. So he knows a little bit about restaurants. He knows about operations, design, education, entrepreneurship, and he is here to share his experiences with you.
It's like if a server came to get a job with me. If they were coming in and we would panel the server, we would say, well, how do you like our menu? And what's your favorite item? Well, I really haven't looked at it. Well, I guess we don't have to look at you either. I mean, if you're not going to be smart enough to come in the operation and shop it and learn it, to show us that you've got a passion to want to be part of our fabric, we don't have customers over to our house for Thanksgiving. You have guests. And when you're in another house, in another restaurant, you're a guest in their house. The point being, we're taking the knowledge exchange up a level to fine dining. But even to get to fine dining, you have to get through casual dining. You have to understand that premise. So we could talk about being ducks and being Normans all day long, and we could talk about crumbing a table and being a part-time sommelier and understand wine and food pairings. If that's what you want to talk about, we can go through all those things. But that's, to me, a master's level of education. If we don't have our Bachelor of Science yet, so to speak, in regular dining and just the etiquette in regular dining, I don't want to go over your head with things that don't make any sense. So who would like to stimulate this interaction here and talk about a subject in fine dining, just dining in general and service, that you're passionate about and you want to know some answers for?
Which are the frontiers? What else we can do to get to that fine dining? A lot of people is talking about fine dining, but then, like you said, what is the expectation on a fine dining thing? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You can call any operation fine dining. And do we have what it takes to have a fine dining?
Oh, I love that.
You know,
okay,
that's what I'm looking
do we have what it takes right now in this country to be fine dining in general? I mean, can I tell you something? I can have a fine dining experience. I'm using this as a myth, but I can have a fine dining experience at Outback Steakhouse if my server comes over and makes my 10-year-old feel like $1 million, has a smile on their face, and they're willing to go through to the moon and back to make us feel comfortable at that moment. The peasant food that I grew up on, to me, I would see in Felidia on 57th Street, 58th Street for, you know, $100, $200 a person. And I'm saying, where do you get the mix of the service entity with all the knowledge and the pizzazz, and where you feel great with the person that you're with because they're so engaging? It feels you're the only person in the room. They're not a car salesman, and they have that sincerity, that genuine guest service. So let's take the food component, the genuine guest service, and mix that with a good business acumen where you can be successful in fine dining. Put it all together, and that's how you get to where you want to go. But I recommend, if any of you want the fine dining realm, you have to find the best fine dining mentor. You go work with the Thomas Keller and you say, don't pay me anything. Let me work with you for the next 6 months and show you what I can do. And if I've got something to show you that you recognize and you could take me under your wing and show me the way, oh my God. I work for people and I said, don't pay me. And that was the best thing I ever did, because I prove my salt every day and I got out there and make it happen. Not that I'm wonderful. I'm a great dishwasher and busser. But if you're not that, you can't be anything else. When you see somebody, look in their eyes and smile. Yes, sir. No, sir. I said earlier, hospitality doesn't start when you come to work in a restaurant or a hotel. I just went to the bathroom and I'm cleaning the counters and the mirrors and picking papers off the floor. It's either in you or it's not in you.
To me, technology is really just a means to do things a little bit better, but I think it's still, the fundamentals still have to be in place. You know, if some people think a microwave fixes all the problems, we know that's not so. We know that it has some very negative impact on certain food items, but it's good for others, and I think what we need to do is learn enough about the technology to know how far we can actually use it and when we should use it.
Why can't you get what's indigenous to your location and make it a destination where you're not depending on the rest of the world trying to be just another restaurant in Fort Myers? That's just an idea.
Oh, it's a great one.
I mean, but my point is, you've got fishermen there. They can stop by. It'll be filleted and ready for you, unless that's not what your customer's looking for, but it's just an idea. But anyway, I hope we answered some of your questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, listen, let me give you a couple of points. Just on the fine dining side, because this will blow your mind. I pulled up one of my job descriptions in a restaurant we had. And under the job description, fine dining, and we can do this to a point where you are out there on that little island. But when this is, represents the operation in a positive manner with internal and external guest service satisfaction, interacts effectively with a diverse group of guests and team members, learns and uses operating practices of the department and the organization, upholds mission statement. Do we have a mission statement here? I'm successful because I try to be the best dad, the best husband, the best friend, the best brother, and the best industry partner I can give you. My motive to be here with Ferdinand and Terry and the folks at Reed today were to try to share with you real-life experiences that I'm going through with you and to bring them into a forum where we could share them and talk about them. It's easy to get motivated, but an idea's worth a buck, making it happen's worth $1 million. I tell people all the time, you're full of ideas, but you never execute anything. If you want to go somewhere and make something happen, fine dining-wise, you want to get to the next level, I know you can do that. You know why? You wouldn't be here if you didn't have the initiative to want to grow, learn, and become a better person.
To me, fine dining can occur on many different levels, as long as all the elements are in place. One of the most famous restaurateurs and chefs in France who had a 3-star restaurant, when asked what makes him successful, I take care of the 1,000 little details each and every day. And I think that in many ways contributes to the element of fine dining.
Service is king of all the components in a fine dining experience. Who you hire, which I put human resources as the most important thing. When you're hiring people for your place, human resources is first. You hire heart, you hire a person with a positive attitude, you hire somebody that will do whatever it takes. It's critical to always find that component first. You can train them to do the rest, that list I just showed you, but in any fine dining establishment, that's what comes first.